Hello, sir.
Hi, you should be able to hear me now, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Anytime you want to talk, Dragon, this is good. This is good.
So I didn't mean it kind of as a sarcastic question or anything like that, but like I was kind of wondering, and I didn't see like very many other people sort of chime in. So the question isn't just for you. Like I know you have a very specific definition for it, and I'd love to hear it too. You sort of did that earlier a little bit, but I'm so tired. Like I didn't have my notes out.
Fair. Yeah.
But my question, and I sort of to make sure that like everybody knows kind of what the question is like, what is your perspective? Like when you see a diamond rat, what do you think it's supposed to be doing? Like what is its purpose? What do you think we have placed it there for you? Like I mean, I don't know if
I get what you're saying. What does it communicate to you when you see a diamond?
Yeah,
diamond on a diamond rat.
Yeah.
So I would say that for the general population, they interpret that as this rat is stronger, this rat is nastier than normal rats. I interpreted it as this rat has an AI that's designed to make it behave more like a player, and it's designed to be interpreted as if it was a player, not an NPC, because it drops loot and stuff like it's an NPC or like a player. They fly around like a player, they seek backup like a player, they mine like a player, and they respond to both positive and negative standings. So it was the stopgap between Incursion AI, which was kind of the most advanced version of just the very procedural, the old school AI version, versus the decision tree AI of the Drifters. They came in between. So to specify those and let you know that there's something a little, because if you just see a mining ship there with a diamond in front of it, you might think it's just like every other hauler or stupid thing that you can just shoot and be fine. But they'll get angry and bring back a fleet, and so it's to warn you that there's something more going on.
All right, cool. Because so
Lord Callus says that Diamond Rat means CCP wants to kill me now. And then the other answer is that honestly, the Diamond Rat tips you off that there's a fob in the same area of you. That's what we see it as.
Right.
An early warning system that there's a fob that we need to go hunt down.
Okay. So, like, if I were to put more diamond rats into sites and combat anomalies and things like that, that would feel a little out of place.
People would interpret them as stronger than normal.
Okay, sure.
More dangerous than normal, I should say.
Right. Okay.
Like so, the dread the dreads in the new capital sites, the Camion had a diamond in front of it, and I thought that was kind of appropriate because it's to let you know, hey, because before that, like, people would like bring in their blingy ass mission running ship thinking that like this is going to be fine, and it's like no, you might want to think this through a little bit first before you shoot this thing.
Right. Okay, cool. So, what I've been starting to use the diamond rats for, and I've been kind of looking for feedback on this, and I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about it because I put them into several of the sites that I made over the past year.
Right, like I just said, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
And
I got a question about that.
Hold on,
try to before we go into this, I want to know what your definition is. When you're saying that you use diamond rats, are you meaning that you use the diamond indicator, that you use the diamond AI, or both?
So I actually the diamond dreadnought, diamond frigate, etc., whatever. Mm-hmm. Those are a categorization system on our side of things for NPCs. So right. when I put one into that category, it means absolutely nothing other than that's a category that they all share. All the diamond frigates or whatever share diamond frigate, and that's the only thing that it actually means technically. Now, that's not how I want to use it. What I'm thinking of using it as is basically this guy has the upgraded AI, yes or no? That's what I've been thinking of using it for. Is that a good idea, yes or no? Because the problem then becomes that, like, okay, cool, this is a Garista's frigate, what is it, worm, or not worm, yeah, worm, right.
Yep.
This is a Garista's frigate, and he's got a diamond on him, and I fight him, and it's like, he wasn't too bad. But then this worm is harder. Why? And the reason why is because behind the scenes, Garista's frigate A fit some Tech 1 nonsense on his ship because he's poor, and Garista's frigate B fit some Tech 2 bling and was like, yeah, I can spend some money, and that's why he's harder for you to fight. He has better stats.
So like a diamond would be like would be almost like an officer indicator, as a lieutenant mark.
Well, but see, that's the thing. Like, you wouldn't have known the difference between the two because they both would have been diamond rats. They both would have been diamond frigates. They may have had very similar names, like just Garista's worm. Both of them were like Garista's worm, but you didn't know that one was stronger than the other. Maybe we'll put some indicators there, like, like Garista's.
Why not just use the same nomenclature that they use for everything else?
Officer or whatever.
So you've got like Pithy for normal, and then Dread Garistus for lieutenants.
Right. So yeah. So one of the reasons why is because when you when you put them into the diamond category, it also puts the faction name ahead of any other name localization stuff that you put in there. So it puts the faction localization name in front of it. So it becomes a really long name.
So wait, I'm trying to still understand this. So when you're saying a diamond, so even if it doesn't have the diamond indicator, a diamond rat to you is a special kind of rat in the authoring? Is that what you're saying also?
So, well,
because you said if it is a diamond, it does the name a certain way.
Correct. If I put it into the diamond categories, then it will put the faction name or corp name, if it whatever its ownership, whatever the ownership is, and we can determine ownership by faction, or we can determine ownership by corporation. And it puts that name ahead of whatever localized name I have. And so if that's like,
I'm tracking. Oh, wait. Okay. Let me see if I can follow.
Sure.
So the original mining rats were the original diamond rats were mining rats. So there's a bunch of different mining corporations. So then they have a bunch of other ships, but because they're designed to just be symbolic of players, it's just corporation name thing. And it's just designed to author that way. So that way it doesn't matter which corporation it is doing for, it's using the same thing and authoring it, and then just like constructing its name as it spawns it, more or less, right? Does that sound closer? Yeah. Okay, good. Got it.
And so what it does and what it actually is doesn't matter. But that's okay, because we can come up with, if we have to come up with a new naming convention that's short enough that it will fit in there, that's fine. Okay, what's up?
Have an elite corporation within the pirate factions.
Also,
so Dominion. So if they're angels, then they're one thing, but if they're Dominion, then they're another.
I'll float this with Delegate Zero. I like the idea. But so okay. So anyways, the idea here being that, like, hey, if they're gonna, like, because what I do is I actually like go into well, classically, I used to go into Python, but I've actually been using the simulator in game more. It feels dirty to say that, like I use our tools instead of somebody else's. How dare I? And I fit a ship, and I go, okay, this is the fit for the ship, and then I copy the stats over into the ship that I made as an NPC. And I go, okay, this is the NPC now, and it's like, okay, this is a Tech 1 version. Cool. Should I tell you guys that he's a Tech 1 version versus a Tech 2 versus a Tech versus I don't know, whatever, officer mods, etc. And what I'm hearing is, yeah, absolutely, and the diamond can cut it, but we also have other ways to do so as well, and so maybe we should stick with those other ways.
Yeah, if the alternative is two worms that have different capabilities but look pretty much the same otherwise, like, I can get why that would be interesting on like an immersion point of view, but just from like a processing point of view, it's already hard enough for us to like suss out what everything means based on like the rats that are going to be in the sites versus what they actually do, just because of the feedback that we get. So the idea that like not it will get in the way of comprehension of the collective, because if we encountered each one of them in isolation, then we would be able to figure out the difference between the two. But since we encounter them in clusters, we wouldn't be able to figure out what is the thing that's making the difference, unless the thing that making the difference is something extremely notable, like the fact that it uses E-War versus not.
Yeah. Cool. So this is helpful, and I think that like if people want to talk to me some more about it, like I'm gonna be obviously like I've been trying to pimp out our EVE Online Discord. There's an official Discord now. I don't know who has the links for this or where we've been publishing the links or anything like that, so I can't really direct everybody to one place to find it. But I've been handing out the link whenever I can. I don't want to just flood it either, but but if you guys catch me on Discord or anything like that, you want to talk about diamond rats, I'll see if we can find a place, sort of a safe space to talk about diamond rats in these regards. Like I want to answer more of these questions from more perspectives. I really appreciate your perspective, Astrale, but I just want to get more of this and see kind of where we go with this kind of stuff. I do I'm hot about that idea. That sounds really hyped to just be like, yeah, but the corporation name is going to tell you whether they're going to be Tech 2 capable or whether they're going to be like officer mods or whatever,
It looks like the link is just discord.gg/EveOnline.
Oh, sweet. Hey, we got a yeah, all right. We feel like a real company now.
Yeah, that's better than I got.
So that would be kind of cool. And obviously we do want to have diamond rats drop loot and things like that, bounty and all those kinds of things, but we also tend to use them in a lot of places where they spawn infinitely, and having rewards on infinitely spawning things is a bad idea, because when we have them spawn infinitely, we're actually spawning them infinitely because there is something else that we want you to be doing, and so rewarding you for just killing them over and over and over again is not the kind of right direction for that. That doesn't mean that we should never put rewards on diamond NPCs, and in fact, I absolutely that's one of the things that we have been doing is, yes, this is a diamond NPC, but I know it only spawns once. It only spawns in this specific location. It is not an infinitely spawning one. So I'm going to put some gear, loot, etc. on it. But then it's dangerous because someone in the future may come along not knowing that that's what that was used for and that kind of stuff, and so that may run us into some serious issues where we start just infinitely spawning loot pinata. Oh, sweet.
I'm not going to make the joke again. So but I think that my big getting more that was my neutral answer. I would say personally that I would go away from diamond as a designator as opposed to towards diamond as a designator, because it has it doesn't inherently communicate anything without being told. It doesn't tell anybody. Right. And so all we have is this echo from the past. That's why when you ask what does a diamond rat mean, we get all these different meanings, because it never actually teaches you. So all you know is this telephone of information about it.
Yeah, and then if we use the other grouping system that we have used in the past, and then all of a sudden there's a new corporation or something like that, and so we have to create the categorization for the NPCs that matches that corporation, then those groups, a lot of times they don't get added to your overviews correctly for people with default overviews and all that stuff. And I know this is still a
well, yeah, that is actually a legitimate issue, and there's an explanation as to why that is, but we're not going to go down that road right now. Just realize that it's not CCP's fault that it's happening per se. It's that your overview settings are stored locally.
Yes, and that's actually something that with some of the stuff that they've been talking about with UI revamp and all that kind of stuff is stuff that we've been, from game design standpoint, been pushing as well, is like this has been a big thorn in our side, because from our perspective, we're having to design around that problem, and we shouldn't have to be designing around that problem. So it's there's talks in place already about changing those things. So it may become a non-issue in the future, and that'll be awesome. So
I wonder if you could color the text too.
At the moment, we don't really have quite the capability, but again, with a lot of the UI revamp stuff, we are looking into making those quite possible.
Well, if you could do that, then you could color the diamond. Then you would have a,
true,
it would be very obvious to somebody that a green diamond is not as strong as a red diamond.
Yeah, I have a whole design document about something very, very similar to that. I have a design document for that has been languishing a little bit, and it's fine. It's just simply a thing that's about like being able to compare essentially your stats with the NPC's stats. It doesn't tell you whether you're going to win, but it just compares the stats, and then you just get an idea of like, does it seem like he's stronger than me? Does it seem like he's weaker than me? And then, okay, well, if I fight him, but I fight him well, and I know how to, I know how to take, I know how to spiral, I know how to do, like, there's stuff I know how to do. Then, like, oh, I take this guy who is super hard and I turn it into an easy fight. So it's not going to tell you whether or not you're going to win. It's just simply comparing stats, because why not? People already look up the stats a lot of times. They go to evref and things like that. And why not just show you?
And the designation that it does give seems to be woefully, almost humorously irrelevant most of the time. Like, it's like, oh, this thing's deadly, or this thing's, whatever. Like the Concord threat assessment on things has never been able to be really taken that seriously, in my opinion. Especially when you start introducing new things, because like a very basic diamond rat could be more dangerous than a threat level deadly normal rat, Like, it's just, I don't know. I like the idea of like a comparative tool, relative strength indicator, more or less, based on like budget.
Mm-hmm. That's another way to think about it. Absolutely. So there's so many ways. Anyways, I don't want to take up more time.